All right, it's your favorite physics teacher, John Frensley, and we're going to do the AP Precalculus Free Response questions that were just released yesterday. But first, let me tell you about my little brand name here, World's Finest Physics. There's the website, and if you're a student, you can get tutoring there. Probably not for AP Precalculus because you already took the exam, but for any future math class you're interested in. And if you're a teacher of math or physics, we have professional development opportunities there for you if you'd like to see some interesting and engaging instructional techniques. Okay, so AP Precalculus, let's see what we got going on here. It's first year for this exam, and let's see if it lives up to all the hype. I don't know. I tutored a lot of students in AP Precal this year, saw a lot of different instructional methods, which were pretty neat, but I also heard a lot of, yeah, I don't feel like I want to take calculus after taking this. So I don't know, guys. We'll have to see. Wonder if you're actually accomplishing anything here. So anyway, but did see some really neat materials from some AP Pre-Cal folks. You know who you are, or you know who they are. Okay, here we go. So we got a graph function of, no, okay, just so you know, I've not seen this yet. Okay, I'm opening this up cold. The figure shows the graph of function f on its domain. Great, 3.5, 3.5. The points are on the graph of f. Okay, if you say so. The function g is given by this nightmare. Okay, I do have my calculator handy. Okay, let's have a look here. The function h is defined by g, which is composed of f of x. Find the value of h at 3. Okay, so I need to plug 3 into f, and I'm going to get 1. So then I'm going to plug 1 into g. Okay, there's not a lot of space to show your answers here. Okay, so I guess I'm just going to go to my calculator here and be all like, yeah, 2.916 times 0.7 raised to the x, and then maybe just go to my table and just say 1, and I get 2.041. This is a 3 decimal place, what we're told, right? So it's h of 3 is 2.041. Feels so weird not writing a number without putting units on it. That just feels so wrong to me. Find all values of x for which f of x equals 1. Wait a minute, what? Did I read this correctly? Find all values of x for this. When is this 1? Like 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Are they for real? Is this real? Okay. X equals -3, x equals 0, x equals +3. Did I not read this correctly? I don't know. Say something in the comments if I'm making that, if I really made a mistake, made that feel like way too simple. I don't know. Okay. Find all values of x as decimal approximations for which g of x equals 2. Okay. Well, let's see. What can I do? I know that at 1, oh no, that's yeah. At x equals 1, g is almost 2. So maybe what I should do, I don't know. This domain restriction seems to only apply to f, not to g. So let's go ahead and just do zoom, decimal. Let's have a look at this graph. Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, what I want to do is I want to do this -2. Here, watch. I want to do this -2. So I'm going to calculate where 0 is, right? So if anybody asks me, where is the function equal to 2? I'm going to do the function -2 equals 0. And then I'm going to calc a 0, left bound, right bound, guess, 1.05. And I think that's the only one. This is an exponential, which means it will always have the same sign for its slope. In other words, it will always be a negative slope, so it will never slope back up again. So that's it. That's the only one. Okay, so it's decimal approximations. X equals 1.057. All right. Determine the end behavior of G as X increases without bound. Express your answer using the mathematical notation of a limit. Okay, well, I have access to a calculator, so I can visually see, if I wanted to, that, if I push the graph button, that this is going to asymptotically approach 0. And then I can even zoom out a little bit more. Like maybe I can do like times 5 or something like that. So what we'll see is that this does approach 0. Now, why do I know that without a calculator? Because the exponential, the base of the exponent is less than 1. So because the base of the exponent is less than 1, a number less than 1 raised to increasingly positive powers. That's like multiplying 0.7 by 0.7 by 0.7 by 0.7 by 0.7. Multiplying by a number less than 1, less than 1, less than 1, less than 1 is getting smaller, 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 smaller. So I'm supposed to say something like this. Limit as x approaches infinity of g of x is equal to 0. I think that's what it wants. Express your answer using notation of a limit. All right, fine. Determine if f has an inverse function. It doesn't. Okay? Why not? Because the inverse would look something like this. Okay, I have to reflect it across the y equals x line. So if I reflect it across y equals x, then this point would now be up here, and this point would now be kind of down here, and this would now look kind of like, okay, so this, hold on. This is so difficult for me. Okay, so this would now be kind of like that. All right, sorry, you're not seeing that because my face is in the way. Okay, that's not a function. It doesn't pass the vertical line test. So what would you say here? What I would say is I would say, f has multiple values of x where the output is the same. That's one reason. If the graph of f is reflected across y equals x, then the new graph does not pass the vertical line test. Or you could just say the graph of f itself does not pass the horizontal line test. Okay. All right. That was not AP level. That was like algebra 2 regular level maybe. Okay. On the initial day of sales for a new video game, there were 40,000 units of the game sold. 91 days later, there were 76. What video game is this where the sales are increasing after 3 months? This hasn't happened in decades. This is Super Mario Brothers. So on the initial day of sales for Super Mario Brothers, okay, okay, yeah, 76 next day. The number of units of video games sold, Super Mario Brothers, can be modeled by the function g, a plus b, natural log t plus 1. Thanks for the plus 1. Where g is the number of units sold. Use the given data to write 2 equations that can be used to find the values of the constants. So you told me g of t is a plus b natural log of t plus 1. And so g at 0 is 40,000. Am I allowed to just say 40,000 or do I have to say 40? Okay, equals a plus b natural log 1. And then the other one's going to be 76,000 is going to equal a plus b natural log of 91 plus 1. All right. Find the values of a and b as decimal approximations. Okay, genius. A is 40,000 because natural log or any log of any base of 1 is 0. So this is 0. So A, oh, I'm sorry. Am I supposed to put 3 decimal places for you? Okay. Did I put 3 decimal places good enough for you? Screw you. You don't even understand significant figures. Okay. Now, 76,000. Oh, better put 3 decimal places equals 40,000. Oh, I better put 3 decimal places for you too. The plus B, the natural log. What the frick is the natural log of? Oh, I better make sure my calculator's in radians for this. Okay, good. All right. So the natural log. Where's the freaking natural log button? Okay, 4.521, whatever. All right. B times 4.5218 or something like it. Okay. So now we're going to take the 76 minus the 76. I really should not have to use a calculator to do this subtraction, but I'm doing it. Okay. Then we're going to divide that by the natural log of 92. And B is going to be 7961.451. Okay, and let's see. The units of A would be games, and the units of B would also be games, I think, but then you have days inside the natural log, and you can't have any units inside of a logarithm or any transcendental function. But the people writing this probably don't care. All right, I'm a physicist. I care about units. Using the given data to find the average rate of change of the number of units of the video of Super Mario Brothers sold in thousands per day. Oh, so am I not supposed to put that? Am I supposed to say 1,000 games and 1,000? Good luck at the reading, guys. This was nebulous, okay? So you're going to get all kind of answers. You're going to get 40,000 and 7,961. And then some people are going to put 40. And then, so what are you going to do with the reading, folks? Have you thought about that yet? Okay. Anyway, so back to this. Yeah, have fun with your question that has like 2 answers based on how students interpreted that word. Anyway, okay, use the given data to find the average rate of change. Okay, if the number of Super Mario Brothers sold in thousands per day. Is this not already in thousands per day in the first place, or video games per day? G is the number of video games each day, right? So wouldn't this be thousands per day squared? Like, okay. Why don't you get me to write these exams for you, okay? I will not be confusing. Okay, average rate of change. Okay, I'm assuming what I'm supposed to do is I'm supposed to say kind of like a y2 minus y, or in this case, a g2 minus g1 over t2 minus t1. So that would be 76,000 minus 40,000 over 91 days minus 0 days. Okay, I'm not doing that math in my head. 76 minus 40 all over 91 minus 0. I don't know why I put the minus 0, but whatever. Okay, so 0.93, it's dyslexia, 396,000 Super Mario Brothers per day. Okay, so there you go. All right. Use the average rate of change found in I to estimate the number of units of the video game sold on day t equals 50. Okay, for this, I actually have to draw a graph. So in my mind, I see G and T, and what I'm envisioning is I'm seeing this is 40, and this is 76, and this is 91, right, kind of thing. So an average rate of change basically means that you're treating this as a line, okay? We know these 2 points, and we're going to draw a line between them like that. And then 50, we're going to interpolate the line. So I need to basically construct this line right here. So I'm going to say y minus y1 equals slope x minus x1. Really, it's g minus g1 equals slope t minus t1. The t1 I'm going to choose is 0. The g I'm going to choose is 40. The slope is the average rate of change, right? So that's basically 36 over 91. And then I'm going to plug in a time of 50. Okay, so G minus 40 equals the 36 over 91. Are you seeing that? That's the average rate of change, which is the slope. And then 50 minus 0. Okay, so let's take 36 over 91. Okay, and then times 50. And then plus the 40 from the other side. And we're going to get 59. So G at 50 is approximately 59.780 thousand Super Mario Brothers games. Okay, is that what you wanted? Show work that leads the answer. Shut up. All right, let A of T represent the estimate of the number of units video games sold using the average rate of change found in I. Okay, so then this was A50. That's what that really was. Okay. For A50 found in 2, it can be shown that A for the guess is less than the true value. Explain why, in general, A is going to be less than that for all T. Okay, here's the answer, okay? This in purple, that's A. The only reason A would always be less than G is because G is concave down, which it is because it's a natural logarithm, and natural logarithms are concave down if they have positive coefficients, which this one does. So what am I supposed to do again? Explain why in general A of t is less than G of t for all t between 0 and 91. That is because A of t is found from a line connecting 040 to 9176, was it? Yeah, okay, right. But G of t is concave down for 0 to t to 91, right? Okay. So, and I'm going to say, and also connects 040 and 9176, right? So I'm going to say this. I'm going to say if a line and a concave down function connect the same 2 points, the function must be greater than the line between those 2 points. Is this like a mean value theorem or something like that? I don't even know, right? But you know what else? If I'm writing this on the AP exam, I'm going to write I'm going to like actually draw this mofo, right? Okay. I'm going to be like, this is A, this is D, right? Like I'm drawing this, okay? Let me tell you, from the world of AP Physics, I bet you it applies to AP Pre-Cal and Calculus too. When it comes to the student and the reader relationship, one of the people in that relationship is going to be the moron, okay? So I tell my students to spell shit out to the reader as if the reader is functionally retarded, okay? So, well, you know, I wonder if I should draw a graph for them. Are they smart enough to like, no, they're not. Draw the graph, okay, if that's what you're thinking. Oh my gosh, it's getting really dark because it's about to rain. Okay, let me move around so that the blasted lights come back on. We're going to have to save electricity in this district. Okay, I'm not even done yet. Oh, sheesh. The makers of the video game reported that daily sales of the video game decreased each day after 91. Explain why the error in the model G increased. Wait, what? Increased after t equals 91. Okay, they reported that the daily sales of the video game decreased. So this wasn't Super Mario Brothers, actually. Decreased each day after 91. The error in the model G increases. Well, I mean, G of t is always it's a natural log increasing with a positive coefficient for all t greater than 0. So if the actual sales decrease and G of t increases, let's call the actual sales S of t, then the error G of t minus S of t must be increasing all the time. Is this what you want me to say? This is not pre-cal. Okay, no calculators allowed. If I want to use a calculator, I'll use one anyway. Shut up, I make the rules. Okay, all right, so this chick here is pushing this tire, okay? The tire of the car has a radius of 9-inch wheels on your car? What is this, a Kia? Okay. And the person rolls the tire forward, and it costs 9-inch wheels. I mean, look. This is the radius of the wheels on your car? Like the width of a paper? Okay. Must be a smart car or something, which aren't really smart if you're getting a collision with them. All right. Point W is on the edge of the tire, touches the ground at time t, 1/2 second. The tire completes a full rotation. The next time W touches the ground is at 5/2 seconds. The minimum height of W above the ground is 18 inches. Maximum height of W above the ground is 18 inches. Did you seriously have to tell me that? Okay, as the tire rolls, I feel like I'm insulted now. This is like insulting my intelligence. As the tire rolls, the height of W above the ground periodically increases and decreases. Okay, thanks for that picture. The sinusoidal function h models the height of point W above the ground in inches. It's a function of time t. graph of H and its dashed midline for 2 cycles shown. 5 points F, G, J, K, and P, we don't know our alphabet, obviously, are labeled on the graph. No scale is indicated, no axes are presented. Okay. Screw you too. Determine possible coordinates of the 5 points. Determine the coordinates of the points F. Really? All right. The tire touches the ground at 1/2 second, and again at 5/2 of a second. 1/2, 5/2, 3/2, 2/2, 4/2, have-nots. Well, let's just teach communism while we're adding a haves and the have-nots. Okay. So what do you want me to do? You want me to present it like a table or something like that? Okay. So here's the point. What is the point? F, G, J, K, and P. Here is T, and here's H of T. Okay, so F, that's 18. This is 9. This is 0. So the T is negative 0.5 and 18. Then 0, 9. Then 0.5, 0. All right, then 1, 9, and 1.5, 18. Okay. Is that what you wanted me to do? Okay. The function h can be written in the form a sine bt plus c plus d. Find the values of the constants a, b, c, and d. Okay. So here's what I'm thinking. First of all, I hate this c constant. It makes me crazy. So I don't want to have it. So what I'm going to say is this is going to be, dudes, how difficult is this going to be to read? Because there are so many possible combinations of, like, we know D is 9. That's the only one we know for sure. And that A is also 9. Those are the only two that you know for sure. Oh, actually, I take it back. Because the B also has to be the same number, but the C could be a bunch of different permutations. In fact, for me personally, what I'm going to do is I'm going to call this negative 9, then plus 9. Okay, so what's the B? Okay, so B is 2 pi over the period. What was the period? 2. So B is 2 pi over pi 2, which is the period, which is just pi. So B is pi. And then I think the way I wrote it, my C is 0. I'm not a big fan of the C phase shift. I have another word for it that almost sounds like that. Okay, so I'm just going to say A is negative 9. B is pi. C is 0. And D is 9. All right, that's what I'm going to say. There's a bunch of possible answers here, folks. This could be positive or negative based on the choice of C. And the C has a bunch of options, right? They're all pi apart, it turns out. So I hope you enjoy reading that at the AP Pre-Cal reading. Refer to the graph of H in part A. The T coordinate of K is T1, and the T coordinate of P is T2. Why not just call it TK and TP? On the interval T1 to T2, God, I got to switch back. All right. Oh, it's just this interval right here. Okay, this interval from K to P, on that interval right there. Which of the following is true about H? Positive. Wait a minute. Is this for real? This is a multiple choice question. Okay, guys, AP Pre-Cal folks, you're new here. I get it. This is a multiple choice question. You would normally put it on the multiple choice section. All right, H is positive. Is this real? Are you for real? The point can't go underground. And it's increasing. Is this real? Okay. H is positive and increasing. Am I crazy? I didn't have any coffee today. This does not feel like an AP exam. Are you even asking me to justify my answer? Describe how the rate of change of H is changing. Oh, that's my favorite thing. The rate of change, also known as the slope. How's the slope changing on the interval? The slope is decreasing. Is that it? Just described? Do I have to explain my reasoning? You didn't tell me to. The slope of the rate of change is decreasing. I mean, I can tell you why right now. because the slope is getting less, less, less steep and is positive. So that's a decrease. Positive getting less, positive. Whatever. Oh my gosh, this is more rules than Emily Post. The domain of a function has to be all real numbers. Angle measures, trigonometric must be radius. Great. Solutions to equations must be real numbers. Determine the exact value of any expression can be obtained without a calculator. So 3, 0, pi over 2. Okay, can be evaluated without a calculator. Unless otherwise specified, combined terms using algebraic methods, rules for exponents and logarithms were applicable. So combine like terms, simplify multiplications, divisions, and that should be rewritten in equivalent forms. For each part of the question, show the work that leads to your answers. Okay, maybe this is the hard question finally. Okay, let's look. It's got a bunch of rules. It's like England. Okay, so the function g of h of that. Solve g of x equals 10. G of x equals 10. So 10 equals e to the x plus 3. Okay, so natural log 10 equals x plus 3. So x equals natural log 10 minus 3. Did you want me to simplify this? Natural log 10 minus natural log of e to the 3. Natural log of 10 over e to the 3. Is that what you want? Man, you guys are going to have a lot of fun. And where the hell are you reading this? Are you reading it in Kansas City? Okay, solve h equals pi over 4. Okay, I'm going to change colors for this because why not? All right, arc sine x over 2. Okay, the domain of h is only -1 to 1. Okay, and that's equal to pi over 4. So now I'm going to bring it over. I'm going to say x over 2 equals sine of pi over 4, which is radical 2 over 2. So x over 2 equals radical 2 over 2. So x is just going to equal radical 2. Okay, now that is in the domain because radical 2 over 2 is in the domain. It's less than 1. Okay, fine. The functions j and k, stands for jerk off, are given by logarithm, 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 and that. Rewrite j as a single logarithm base 10 without negative exponents in any part of the expression. Okay, so a plus, so this is really going to be log base 10 of 8x to the 5th times 2x to the squared, and then minus, okay, this guy's going to go up here, and it's going to be over x to the 9th. So then that is going to be log base 10 of 16. And then we're going to do over x squared because we have 7 exponents on the top and 9 on the bottom. Okay, I hope I did that right. Okay, rewrite k of x as a single term involving tangent. Okay, 1 minus sine squared is cosine squared. So this is cosine squared x over sine x, and then secant x and cosine are reciprocals. So they're going to partially cancel, and cosine over sine is cotangent, so that's a reciprocal of just tangent x. All right, the function m is given by this. Oh, this looks interesting. Find all values in the domain of m that yield an output value of 0. Okay, let's see. So the inverse cosine is not going to be happy outside of -1 to 1. And tangent of, okay, so if 0 equals inverse cosine of tangent of 2x, then that means that the cosine of 0, which is 1, is equal to the tangent of 2x, okay? And now, when is tangent equal to 1? Is it pi over 4? Tangent equals 1 again at a place that I think might not be in the domain of this. Let's see. Well, no, I take it back. All right, so it's going to be pi over 4 plus k times pi. Pi over 4 plus k times pi, because we can go around pi times and get a slope, which is a tangent equal to 1. So I'm going to say 2x is equal to pi over 4 plus k pi. And so that means x equals Does it say there's no domain restriction on this? Okay, so pi over 8 plus k over 2 pi, or 1/8 plus k over 2 times pi. K is an integer, right? Okay, I'm using my calculator, and if you don't like it, you can go screw. All right, so this is inverse cosine of tangent of 2x, okay? So I'm going to do, yeah, that's an error. You're right, it is. Okay, 1/8 plus, 1/8 plus 1/2, 1/8 plus 1/2 pi. That's 0. All right. How about 1/8 plus 2/2 pi? That's also 0. Okay, so if I were to graph this, oh, those are all the places it's supposed to be touching 0 at each of those places. It's supposed to be touching 0 at each of those places. So you know what I'm going to do? What I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply this by pi, and times pi. And let's see what happens now. Is it actually going to touch? No, it's not. Why is it not going to touch? Okay, so let's go to the window again. Let's divide this by 2. And let's divide this by 2. All right, it still doesn't touch. I don't know how to use a calculator. Okay, so try it on Desmos. Okay, so that end of exam. Okay, here's the deal. Everything I saw here was algebra 2, okay? Except for the trigonometry stuff. And the trigonometry stuff was 3 and 4, and those were really easy, okay? The exam is too easy, folks. That's why it is that no college is going to give credit for it.